Today on NewsWatch, Ted Cruz and Kasich team up to take down Donald Trump. We'll break down what's behind the new alliance. Plus, terror in Israel. We'll show you who police believe is responsible for one of the country's latest attacks. And a congregation in China is fighting for the faith. See why this woman gave her life for the gospel. Thanks for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Caitlin Burke. Voters head to polls tomorrow to cast ballots in another round of crucial presidential primaries. And with 5 states up for grabs, 2 Republican rivals are joining forces to take down GOP frontrunner Donald Trump. Ephraim Graham has more.
Donald Trump is expected to add to his overwhelming delegate lead when voters in 5 northeastern states head to the polls Tuesday.
I got to get rid of these 2 guys. I'm sorry, folks.
So Trump's 2 Republican rivals are now joining forces to take him down. Texas Senator Ted Cruz and Ohio Governor Kasich almost simultaneously announced Sunday they're coordinating their campaigns to deny the frontrunner the 1,237 delegates needed to win the party's nomination before the convention.
I think when we're at the convention, the delegates are going to want to know who can beat Hillary.
The Kasich campaign is backing off in Indiana, giving Cruz a clearer path to victory in next month's primary.
God bless the great state of Indiana.
In return, the Cruz campaign will ease up to give Kasich a clearer path in Oregon and New Mexico. The Cruz campaign issued this statement: having Donald Trump at the top of the ticket in November would be a sure disaster for Republicans. Not only would Trump get blown out by Clinton or Sanders, but having him as our nominee would set the party back a generation. And the Kasich campaign said, our goal is to have an open convention in Cleveland, where we are confident a candidate capable of uniting the party and winning in November will emerge as the nominee. Donald Trump fired back on Twitter. Wow, just announced that Lion Ted and Kasich are going to collude in order to keep me from getting the Republican nomination. Desperation. Meanwhile, in the Democrats' race, there is talk Hillary Clinton is already quietly starting the search for a vice presidential running mate.
I'm just working hard to win on Tuesday.
Clinton is ahead in all 5 states voting tomorrow.
What this campaign is really about.
Even so, rival Bernie Sanders is still promising to stay in the race. But while Clinton is virtually assured of winning the Democratic nomination before her party's convention, things look very different on the Republican side, with Cruz and Kasich now working together to bring about a contested convention in Cleveland. Ephraim Graham, CBN News.
President Obama announced plans today to send 250 Special Forces troops to Syria to join the fight against the Islamic State. The plan is part of efforts to assist local Syrian forces in recapturing territory seized by ISIS. So far, U.S.-backed Syrian forces have successfully pushed ISIS out of strategic cities like Ramadi and Palmyra. Last week, Defense Secretary Ash Carter announced that more than 200 U.S. troops soon will be headed to Iraq as well. Palestinian terrorists are at it again. Israel confirms a Palestinian teenager carried out last week's bus bombing. And now Israel has uncovered a terror tunnel from Gaza. That discovery comes during a 7-month wave of Palestinian attacks. As Chris Mitchell reports, it's a clear sign that Israel must always remain on guard.
It's almost surreal, a beautiful pastoral setting all around. But about 100 feet underground, Hamas planned terror with this tunnel.
When everything is quiet, it's like heaven. It's the most beautiful place in the world. But when it's not, it's terrifying.
About a mile behind me, beyond these orchards, is the border with the Gaza Strip. About 60,000 Israelis live, work, and send their children to school in this area. The terror tunnel was found very close to this spot. Hamas says it wants to use these terror tunnels to infiltrate into Israel, murder Israelis, or kidnap them and take them back into Gaza. Sharon Calderon lives in Kibbutz Sufa, close to where the army discovered the tunnel. For more than 10 years, Hamas launched rockets across the border. Her youngest son has PTSD from the many attacks.
When I'm standing here, I'm looking for where, if there's going to be alarm, when I'm going to run. Where is the closest place that we can stand that is safe enough?
Since the development of the Iron Dome anti-rocket system, Hamas terrorists have gone underground.
When you have missiles, most of the time we have alarm, so you have 5 seconds to get ready. It's not a lot, but it's 5 seconds. The terror tunnels, we don't know.
No one knows how many of these tunnels exist, but Israel says it's working to find them.
We exposed a tunnel based on 4 core components: intelligence, technology, boots on the ground, and good engineering capabilities.
IDF spokesman Peter Lerner said the discovery wasn't a big surprise, since Hamas has been boasting about the tunnels for some time.
And we have, in the last 2 months, been investing many work hours, day and night, in order to try and uncover and expose the tunnels that are penetrating into Israel.
Reserve Colonel Atai Shelach sees the tunnel threat as tactical, not strategic.
They can make some damage over there, but the image of this, it's more important than the damage, and they can succeed in this.
Shelach says terrorist tactics have evolved from hijacking planes in the 70s to missiles and now tunnels. Israel will find solutions, he said, but it will take time.
It's like a marathon here. It's a long race between the Hamas and the IDF and the State of Israel.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Kibbutz Sufa, on the border with Gaza.
A Seattle church was vandalized with racist graffiti over the weekend. Vandals sprayed Curry Temple Church with swastikas and messages for its congregation to, quote, go back to Africa. The vandals also broke into the church, but officials are uncertain if anything has been stolen. The Seattle Police Department is investigating the crime. Target has taken the side of transgender activists in the national debate over public restrooms. The store allowing people to use whichever restroom or fitting room corresponds with their, quote, gender identity. Now conservative groups like the American Family Association are calling for a boycott of the retail chain. The group's president warning this means a man can simply say he feels like a woman today and enter the women's restroom, even if young girls or women are already in there. Target's policy is exactly how sexual predators get access to their victims. Operation Blessing Disaster Relief is in Houston helping flood victims rebuild. OB is not only helping the residents rebuild homes, they're also helping them emotionally and spiritually by praying with them. Residents like 70-year-old Harleen Hart.
They already know what to do, and that's a blessing. Give me some kind of relief. We'll survive this, but it's just hard especially when you get older, you can't live, you can't do things anymore like you used to.
More than 100 volunteers partnered with Operation Blessing. And if you'd like to volunteer, contact volunteer@ob.org. Operation Blessing is currently responding to help quake victims in Japan and Ecuador as well. The death toll from Ecuador's massive earthquake has risen above 650 people. Roads and other infrastructure are so badly damaged that it's very difficult to reach many survivors. Water's urgently needed in remote areas that were devastated more than a week ago. But CBN Disaster Relief is on the ground, bringing water purification equipment to help meet the need.
As CBN Disaster Relief teams push closer to the epicenter of the earthquake, we stopped in Babahoyo, Los Rios province. There we met Colonel Leon Mancheno and teamed up with the local fire department to bring much-needed aid to an already impoverished community.
I've been a firefighter here for 18 years. I've never seen anything like this before.
Our team was equipped with the first of many mobile water purifiers to be deployed in the hardest-hit areas of Ecuador. Every hour, the unit can turn 25 gallons of the filthiest water imaginable into clean, safe drinking water.
The most important thing after something like this is sanitation and clean water, so this machine will be a huge help to us.
We showed the fire crew how to set up and maintain the machine so it can keep running for years to come.
The logistics involved with drinking water is the hardest part. This machine will make the process much more efficient and eliminate a lot of trash.
Machines like this will keep the community hydrated as they rebuild And in the meantime, we delivered extra food and bottled water to those with immediate needs.
We have never worked with CBN before. Thank you for coming to help Ecuador. We look forward to working together in the future.
Turning now to the devastation in southern Japan, Mark Martin tells us how Operation Blessing and others are trying to provide for the basic needs of those left homeless by the quake.
Recovery teams in southern Japan are still finding bodies buried beneath the rubble caused by last week's earthquakes. A magnitude 6.5 quake last Thursday night, followed by a 7.3 quake early Saturday morning, caused widespread damage. Eyewitness Keiko Fujimoto said the earthquake made a big rattling sound. There was a strong shaking which lasted a long time. We were eating dinner together as a church family. I heard people screaming, sound of glass breaking and things falling. I was really taken by surprise. The death toll in Japan has reached at least 48 people. Another 11 died from illnesses believed to be connected to the physical demands of evacuation. 3 people remain missing. More than 1,000 people were injured during the quakes, and 200,000 were evacuated to shelters. Still, in the midst of all the devastation, miracles are happening. Pastor Yoji Nakamura of Kumamoto Harvest Church, which is located in the quake zone, said there is a church near the epicenter that has totally collapsed. The pastor there was buried in the rubble. He managed to escape on his own, but his daughter in her late 20s was buried in the rubble for about 4 hours. She was rescued and I believe is in the hospital now. Her life was saved. Operation Blessing Japan sent a 2-ton truck from Sendai to Kumamoto Harvest Church. The truck will be used by the church to deliver huge amounts of aid for at least 1 month. Operation Blessing International purchased generators, water, food, and hygiene items for the victims. The town of Mackesy was hit the hardest. 20 people lost their lives there. OB Japan delivered more than a ton of supplies to Mackesy. In addition, OB Japan took bottled water to an emergency shelter at a middle school in the quake zone. More than 100 vehicles were parked around the school, and many people who could not rest in the gymnasium were staying in their cars. Also, with so many aftershocks, some people are too afraid to stay indoors. Mark Martin, CBN News.
Coming up, as China cracks down on Christianity, a pastor's wife gives her life trying to protect her church. China's president is sounding the alarm against the spread of religion in his country. Over the weekend, he made comments about the need to guard against what he called infiltrations via religious means and warned that religious groups must submit to the ruling Communist Party's control. The speech comes as crosses and churches are being demolished in the eastern part of the country. Meanwhile, a congregation in China is mourning the loss of a pastor's wife who was killed when she tried to stop the destruction of their church. The Christian agency that reported this atrocity says it's part of a larger crackdown against Christians in China. Meng Fei Li has the details.
The pastor and his wife stood in front of a bulldozer to keep it from destroying their church. That's when the demolition team leader ordered the driver to push them into the pit and bury them alive. The pastor escaped, but his wife died of suffocation. Local police say they're investigating the incident, and 2 members of the demolition team have been detained. Bob Fu heads the Christian human rights group China Aid. He said this shows that Chinese officials will go to extreme lengths to stop the spread of Christianity.
I think the government, under the massive corruption and lack of legitimacy and the social unrest, really try to look for a scapegoat. And unfortunately, the independent churches are becoming increasingly a target that the government blamed for political instability. And the rapid, massive growth of Christianity has been regarded as a political threat.
Bob Fu also mentioned what happened in Henan province was the most inhumane way from the Chinese government to control the growth of Chinese churches. The tension between the Chinese government and the Chinese Christian community is increasing dramatically as more churches will be demolished. China Aid says persecution in China jumped 150% in the past year, with nearly 3,000 Christians detained and about 1,300 to jail terms. Despite the opposition, Chinese Christians in the Henan province are pressing forward in their faith, inspiring others to persevere as well. Meanwhile, organizations like China Aid will continue the fight for religious freedom. Mengfei Li for CBN News.
Up next, he's a world-class artist, a former atheist, and now he's being called the finest evangelist in Britain. Hear from Charlie Mackesy and see how his faith influences his amazing art after this. God can reach anyone, anywhere. That was certainly the case with Charlie Mackesy. He was an atheist, an artist, and he hated religion. But then God opened his eyes to the beauty all around him. John Jessup met up with Charlie in London to hear his remarkable story.
Charlie Mackesy has been described as a world-class artist, selling his artwork to the likes of Whoopi Goldberg and Sting.
When did you discover that you had artistic ability?
Good question. I mean, I think I probably knew that I could draw at school, but I think you need a reason to draw.
He found that reason about 25 years ago in a London park. An atheist at the time, he says he had a feeling that there must be more to this than meets the eye.
Jesus quietly introduced me to a journey into finding people really beautiful, which is how my art really began. Because I felt inside me, he was going, look how beautiful is that guy sitting on that bench. And I would never have noticed him before.
In this bronze sculpture called The Return of the Prodigal Son, Mackesy captures the raw emotion of that familiar parable. It's located here at Holy Trinity Brompton, one of the most influential churches in the Church of England.
Didn't believe any of it at all.
Mackesy is a popular speaker here, particularly with unbelievers.
Charlie appeals to people outside the church because he's not what they expect. You know, when you have a sort of picture of the evangelist, you don't picture Charlie Mackesy.
So I decided that what I'd do is, I was in bare feet anyway, so I stood on the loo seat like this.
He can be a bit unorthodox, like the day he describes hearing a gospel song for the first time at a music festival inside a portable toilet that was so filthy he stood on the seat to avoid the overflow. The song pierced through his atheism, moving him to tears.
And he's very humble, very unpretentious. He tells stories against himself.
I didn't really know what had happened to me, but as I was feeling it, my left foot slipped. And I went up to here.
While Mackesy's stories may not be for the faint of heart, he points out that those closest to Jesus, the disciples, could also be described as objectionable.
I realized that they were naughty people, unreligious people, people who didn't really have a religious etiquette, who probably wouldn't be that welcome in church. I thought Christianity was be clean, come to church, be nice, don't use the F word, and you'll be accepted and liked, because that's the thing, it's a meritocracy. And if you want to belong, be a certain way. And he says, you're loved. You're loved as you are, covered in whatever it is, on the inside or out.
I think he's the finest evangelist in the UK at the moment. People outside the church, I would rather take them to hear Charlie than anybody else in the UK.
And he wasn't joking.
That's completely ridiculous.
This all comes as a shock to Mackesy, which is understandable given his life story.
We had kind of religious things at school, and I hated it. We sang about God, but I didn't like God. I didn't think he existed, but if he did, I didn't like him.
How would you have described or defined a Christian?
Oh, someone who pretends to be good and judges people, and believes in an invisible friend that they've created.
After that strange yet profound encounter with Oh Happy Day, Mackesy moved to New Orleans, immersing himself in black gospel music and jazz.
And I wanted to say to my friends, there's a spirit behind this that is incredible. It's so full of life. Look at it. Look at these people. Look what they believe. Look what it does to them.
Mackesy sees his art foremost as a way to introduce God to the people he loves. Like Prodigal Daughter, for a friend who struggled with bipolar disorder.
You know, if you try to explain your words like, oh, God loves you, or you're loved, they don't really carry any meaning at all. To be held is somewhere she always wanted. So I said, this is what God is like.
Mackesy's art is also a record of God's presence in his own life.
I really wanted to play the piano, but I was really rubbish. And for me, the angel represents the voice of God saying, I'm with you, I love you, we'll go there together, I'll help you with this, you're not alone.
And this painting, simply titled Known.
But there was one day when I was on my bike crossing a bridge in London, and it lasted about 11 seconds. But it was this kind of, you're known, you're loved, this God exists and he loves you, he knows you, you're known, you're fully known, you're fully known. Warts, darkness. You don't have to pretend to be anything.
John Jessup, CBN News, London.
In a rapidly changing world with new technologies and shifting attitudes on culture and tradition, church leaders are having to adapt and find new creative ways to spread the gospel. That was the idea behind this year's International Pastors and Leadership Conference in Orlando, Florida. Around 8,000 pastors attended the three-day meeting hosted by Bishop T.D. Jakes. The goal was to encourage Christian leaders and help them identify steps to move their ministries to the next level. CBN's John Jessup was featured during part of the conference. He was invited to interview Bishop Jakes on stage to address some of the challenges pastors face. That's it for now on CBN NewsWatch. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care about most at cbnnews.com. And tell us what you think about the stories you've seen here. You can do that on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. We hope you'll join us next time. Have a great day.